Hello, and welcome to another episode of eBay Scavengers. I'm Mikey, and with me today is Jay.
Hello.
Hello, and also with us is the first time we've done this, we are interviewing another eBayer who we've never met before. So we've had one other eBayer on the show. That was Ryan's mother. Right. And today we have Adam, who has just gotten into eBay, and he sent us 8 great questions for a newbie who's just getting started with shipping items and getting used to all the nuances of eBay. And so, Adam, welcome to eBay Scavengers.
Hey, guys. Thank you.
Hello, Adam.
Hello.
So, Adam, we really appreciated you contacting us through the blog, ebayscavengers.com. Can you just quickly tell us how long you've had a store?
Yeah. My wife and I pretty much just started talking about opening an eBay store specifically probably about a month ago. So she's kind of always been like the let's start a business one out of the two of us.
Yep.
And I've always kind of been like, well, that's not realistic. And, but when we kind of came together on the idea of opening up an eBay store and, started listening to like stuff like your show and watching YouTube videos, it kind of seemed like a more realistic type of business to open when you don't have a lot of money up front.
Yep. And then you guys are basically scavengers. You kind of sound like it. I've seen stuff in your store.
Yeah, we definitely don't specialize in anything. It's pretty much go out with no agenda other than to try to find interesting, cool stuff to sell. So
buy cheap, sell high, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so let's get to the questions that you sent us. So the first one was, and feel free to expand on this, was when you think you should get a store, and you're asking about eBay postage. Did you want to expand on that? It's a question like, how are you doing things now, and tell us the problem.
Well, basically, right now, we don't have a printer. So when it comes to printing like eBay labels or printing your own postage online, we don't do any of that, and we don't know what we're missing out on and, sort of how that process works, if it's how it saves time and if it saves money, or if what are the benefits of using eBay labels, and also like the USPS postage, or however you guys do that part of it, and the pickup program. Is that all integrated together?
Okay, so I'm going to give a short answer for those, and I'll let Jay elaborate on them. But Jay and I both have pretty much the same printer. We use a Brother HL 2070N laser printer. And the reason why is it's really easy and inexpensive to either buy toner for it. You can print like 10,000 pages per toner, or you can refill it yourself. You can just add more toner to it. So we both have the same printer. It works over the network, and don't have to plug into it or anything. And we print our labels, and we have our packages picked up. I don't have to do anything to get the packages picked up. I just kind of like throw it all in my mailbox, and if there's big ones, I throw them in my car and leave a note in the mailbox and go to the car for the rest. I think, Jay, you have a little more. You have to do a thing each day that says, please come pick up, right?
Yeah, we have to send them an email every night, and then we put them on our porch, and she just comes and takes them off our porch.
Okay.
And I think the goal for both of us is to avoid the post office, because it has lines. Sometimes they'll let you cut and just drop your packages off if they're pre-labeled. But in your case, it sounds like you're going to the post office and having them print the postage there. So you're paying a little bit of a premium on that. As you would sell more, you would start to get discounts from eBay on postage of, I think, up to like 20-25%. Is that right, Jay?
Yep, that's right.
Cool.
But it's really about speed, because each day I wake up and, print like 6 to 8 labels, and that would be a lot of time in line and carrying the packages around, and if I had to go to the post office. So it's nice just to print them, get them in the mailbox in the car, and get on with my day. So usually I can do it in less than 45 minutes each morning. And
anything we talk about, like things we use, we'll actually put a link on the blog just so people can find it and see it. But and don't forget too that the printer is a write-off. I mean, you got to remember too, as soon as you start to make a certain amount of money, I think it's $20,000 a year. PayPal actually tells the IRS that you've made this cash, so there's no longer a way to kind of hide it. And those are things you got to start thinking about writing things off. I mean, everything you spend on a business, you can deduct from your taxes, like a printer.
Oh, yeah.
if this is just going to be kind of like a small time hobby, then you definitely should just handwrite things. But if you're going to start doing things, start selling a couple things a day, it'd be worth it to.
Yeah, I think when we originally opened up this store, I did it as a store. So I think we're on the minimum store, like $19.99
Yep.
a month already. So I just don't know what I'm getting, but I think that's what I'm signed up for. So we'll have to.
Yep. I see your store right now. Yeah. Yeah, I see that you just sold 26 vintage vases. How is shipping that?
Well, that's one of the first things. I think it was Mikey maybe that emailed me. He's like, you might not want to sell vases right away until you're a little bit better at packing. But, well, we'll see how that goes. I'm shipping them out tomorrow.
Have you actually found a box for it yet, or have you boxed them up?
Yep, I boxed it up and packed it up. I probably used about $5 of packing supplies.
Yep. Yep. Well,
Yeah.
trust
It's
me.
pretty solid, though. We'll see how it goes.
We all learn,
Yeah, and with that, it's a total noob move. We sold those vases, 26 vases for $19.99,
Right.
and I think the shipping estimate we had on it is like $20.
Yep.
And I think we're gonna get burnt pretty bad on that. And that's not the first time that's happened to us.
Yeah. You'll learn.
Yeah.
Was there any flat rate option, or was this way too big for that?
I think it was too big. Maybe it would have fit in like the board game large flat rate box, but we actually hadn't. At the time we listed them, we hadn't really figured out the whole flat rate thing yet. So, but now I've got a garage full of flat rate boxes, so we're going to try to, try to list using flat rate prices until we get a better scale.
Yeah, and that actually goes to the next question is if you ask us what scales we use or we would have other people buy. Mikey, if you want to go on that one too?
Yeah, we have two scales. We have like kind of kitchen grade scales I got off Amazon. They probably cost about $30. I'll put them in the show notes for the exact brand and model. But they're very portable. One is super slim. It can only take about 10 pounds of weight or 12 pounds of weight. It's that tiny, but I like it because I can take it traveling with me and weigh items if I'm in a hotel room and eBaying stuff. I would avoid buying super high-end scales initially.
Yeah.
I think, Jay, you have a great scale, right, that you use?
Yeah, we can link
I don't see any need for that.
Yeah.
Initially.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the other thing too, Adam. It sounds like you're doing everything right. I mean, we spent the first year and a half, we didn't spend a dime on our business. We worked out of a spare bedroom. We got all of our boxes from Walmart for free. We'd go at nighttime when they were unloading all their boxes. I mean, we wouldn't spend money on anything. So I think you're doing it all right. I mean, we've just kind of upgraded as you just start to think, well, if I spend $50, that's going to save me a lot of time, then it's worth it,
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll put up the small scales I recommend in Jay's big one so you can kind of see the range, but I would just start inexpensive on the scale front. And Jay, you want to move on to
just real quick, Adam, where are you having them? How can you tell how much something weighs now? How are you weighing them?
Well, currently what we're doing, which I would not really recommend, is we're just using our bathroom scale.
Yeah.
So, I weigh X amount when I'm not holding this item.
Yep.
And
yeah.
Hey.
So we've definitely gotten burned. I'd say I shipped an accordion with a case out, and I think we wound up paying $6 more than I had estimated.
Yeah.
So,
See,
but it's it's kind of like our first 10 items that we're selling here, so we're kind of learning. So
yeah. See, so that would be a good example of like paying $30 for a scale would save you that money on having an exact amount.
Yeah.
Yeah, shipping is a real, it's like a constant thinking process, because even when I'm packing stuff up in the morning with my partner, we're always like, is this the right? Should we use a regional rate A? Should we use a medium flat? It's too light an item. Maybe we should send it in a generic old Amazon box.
Shipping nerds.
There's a lot of like kind of debate with each item at the time of shipping. So I kind of just weigh them as I'm listing each item and think about it later more what the price will be. But I just let eBay do its automatic price by weight, which I guess you're probably doing too with your bathroom scale version.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do.
I mean, Adam, and I mean, I say that you're at the point where everyone gets to. Either you're just like, man, this is too complicated, I'm losing money, this is all, or you just push through and then you become like a seller, you know? Like this is...
Well, definitely, because I feel that way too, but my wife and I were just, basically everyone, if you're going to do eBay, you need to have a wife.
That's right.
No, yeah, we were just talking about that, how we kind of did the math, and it looks like we're pretty much even right now. Like
right.
We've paid for our shipping supplies and all of the upfront shipping you have to pay right away to ship stuff because you don't get those PayPal transactions right away. They don't go directly into your account because you're on like a 21-day waiting time period or something. But
yep.
Either way, yeah, we're at that point now. We're like, okay, now we've sold like 6-7 items, made a couple $100. We've made back what we've bought, and we have inventory and shipping supplies left over. So now everything's pure profit.
Right.
Get some more stuff out the door.
Yep.
So that's, yeah, we're definitely feeling like we're on that hump right now where you push forward or you stop.
Yeah.
You know.
Just wait till you get that one buyer that writes to you and they're really angry and they're real dicks, and then you'll just that's when you're either like, yeah, forget this, or you can just eat it, you know.
Yeah, well, I panicked. Like one of the first things we put up was an action figure. It was a Captain Spaulding action figure from the House of a Thousand Corpses movie.
Yep.
And for whatever reason, this is before my wife started proofreading my listings, before I submitted them. But for whatever reason, in the description, I wrote, item is used, box has been opened. But in my title, for some reason, I put never taken out of the box.
Yeah.
Where I don't know, I wasn't thinking clearly on that at all. And then almost immediately, someone starts messaging me like, hey, what's going on with this item? Have you taken it out of the box or not? And I'm just like, oh my God, I should have wrote that. And, so it was just like this back and forth email with the potential customer. And I was just confusing him. And I'm sorry I screwed up. And it really kind of, it was just like, and my wife was just, right there to be like, you gotta read these things before you post them, So
your next question was, and maybe I'll let you expand on it some, was about just getting started. You guys have spent about $200 buying inventory, and now you're just asking, should you just buy stuff out of profits, or should you dig into your pocket?
That's pretty much it. Basically, I'd say we took out around $200 to sort of buy shipping materials and try to start buying inventory at yard sales and stuff, because it's summer and there's a lot of yard sales, and we're just trying to buy stuff for 50 cents or a quarter or $1 and trying to build up the inventory a little bit. And right as of today, actually, I spent our last $19 of that $200 on inventory. So we've got a lot of stuff to list right now, but maybe not a lot on the scale that you might think, but for us, it's a lot of stuff.
How much stuff?
I'd say there's probably about 50 items to list.
Wow. That's a lot, That's a lot of stuff.
It's a lot, but I also think you could sit down over a weekend, now that you're getting used to the interface, and list them with your wife's help. The two of you could list those 50 items in a weekend.
Yeah, I think so too. And I guess that was the question, once we get these items up, in this so say we get everything up this weekend, should I be out again this weekend and investing more money in, or should I kind of hang out and wait for a few more things to sell so I'm not dipping into the personal account?
So here we go. Let me kind of give you a quick rundown of how we got started. So, number one is we started buying the cheapest stuff we could find. I mean, we were just really cheap because we were afraid of spending a lot of money up front, and we wouldn't spend more than $1 on anything. I don't really recommend that, but, that was kind of like a rule that we had. So we actually had a problem too, because we were selling a lot of really kind of crappy junk that we couldn't sell for more than $10, and we had problems with people complaining because stuff wasn't of good quality. Because, our eye wasn't really that good yet, and because we were only buying things for $1, our quality hadn't been that great. And so we had to kind of work our way in the first 6 months to be willing to spend $2 and $3 on things, and to not get coats that had a tear in them or any stains and, that kind of thing. My opinion is that if you're really committed to selling on eBay, like you're going to put in 12 months, because you really have to kind of give yourself time to start this business and to list enough stuff. I say you got to go for it, because it's going to be a winter time soon and there'll be no yard sales or anything. And a winter time's a great time to list eBay stuff. So I think it's okay to kind of have a couple hundred items kind of backed up if that's what the problem may be.
Well, I totally agree. I wouldn't even add anything to that. Adam, are you comfortable spending more, like going out to the next yard sale and putting, another $50 each weekend in, or $200 in a weekend in to your store?
I think so. We're at a point right now where my wife and I are both working full time. So, taking a little bit of money out to try to invest into store inventory seemed like a good idea to me too. I just didn't know,
right. It's
for sure, do you just, like Mikey said, do you just jump right in and just push it?
It's all about, you just got to be really honest with it yourself. Like my wife and I will go to auctions and we'll see these young couples come in and they've watched Storage Wars, and they come in and they spend like $400 or $500 and they buy like 2 truckloads full of just junk. And I know, because I never see them again, I know they took them home, they put it in their, yard somewhere, and they just didn't do anything with it, because they don't know how to, they don't want to go through the work of listing it and storing it and shipping it. It's just, because they don't show that stuff on Storage Wars and those TV shows. They don't show all the work it takes to actually sell the thing. They just show, I bought this stuff, and the guy estimates how much it's going to cost, and they put a big number sign in front of his face, and they make it seem like it's really easy. So don't be that guy. No,
well, it's just, you watch a show like American Pickers too, where they have a guy for everything.
Right.
It's like, hey, I found this thing, I'm going to call my shoe or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
This leads nicely into listing items.
Yeah.
And I think Adam was kind of asking about, how do you get to 500 items when you got a lot of other responsibilities with work and such, and babies and bills and other things? I think Jay has some answers here about how he breaks up his time for listing.
Yeah, 500 things is really the goal you need to get to if you want to make this a significant part of your income. I've got my own, my own thing where I think if you have 500 items at your store, you're going to make about $2,000 a month. And every 500 things you add to your store, you're going to make another $2,000 a month. So that's kind of our goal. And we can list about 4 things an hour really comfortably. That's like checking your email and taking breaks and fooling around. So even, I know you guys are working full time. Even if you did 2 hours a day, or, an 8-hour day on a weekend, you could list 500 things in a couple months if you're consistent,
Yeah, I think that the other end of that question that I was more concerned with is not the getting things listed, but once you have those 500 items, how many things are you guys packaging and shipping a day? Because that takes up a little bit more time too.
Right. We sell on good, on when our store is hopping, we sell 6 to 10 things a day. When things are slow, we sell 2 to 4 things a day. So, that's the other thing, and Mikey might jump in here, is that since we all have partners, we split up the work. So I take pictures of everything, and Ryan packs everything, my partner. And as Mikey and Wendy do it, it's differently.
Yeah, we both list, but Wendy packs and I print the labels. But anyway, you'll find the right match between yourself and Emma, Adam. But I think one of the things that could be helpful is, if you're worried about shipping every day because you got to get to work and you have a busy morning or something, you could pack and ship the night before and have pickup set up for the next day. The other thing is you have 4 days a week with eBay that you don't have to ship. So basically, if someone buys something on Friday, that doesn't need to the label doesn't even need to be printed until Monday at midnight. That's the deadline.
Right.
And so you kind of have 4 days off where you can queue stuff, so you don't have to be up every day doing it.
And the other thing, too, is that, eBay really encourages people to ship next day, but you don't have to. You can put on a listing, I ship, it's within 3 days. And that way people can just make a choice. Like, I want to buy from the guy who ships right away, or I'll wait 3 days. It's okay.
So I know you kind of touched this question already, so I don't mean to beat a dead horse here, but
sure.
So when you're doing your packages at home, is the eBay label like the shipping label, or how do you get the postage on the package to do like the store pickup, or when the USPS comes to pick it up on your doorstep? How do you do where does the label for the price of shipping go?
So when someone buys your item, you have an eBay summary page, and you can see my sold items, and you can see a little inventory list of what items have sold that need to be shipped. Off to the right, there's an option for print shipping label, and that eBay interface will drive you right through generating a postage label that the post office can scan and use directly. So of any of your items that have sold, once the buyer has paid, you can just say print shipping label directly through that interface. Is that clear enough?
Yeah, and if your shipping is off what you estimated, how do they just charge you extra, or how does that happen?
Right. So what often happens is it is just an estimate, even if you have a very accurate scale, because you have all this random packaging you're adding to the item. So what I'll do is I'll weigh the item just before I print the label and see what that final weight comes to. So I usually pad all my items that aren't flat rate. I'll pad them with a half pound to a pound, depending what the item is. If it's kind of a big, bulky item or it's fragile glass, I'll pad it by several pounds because it needs so much packing material.
And also, if you're off, like if you're really off and they catch it, they'll send it back to you and they'll say, you got to add some more stuff on it. Or they'll ship it to the buyer, and then they'll make the buyer come to the post office and pay extra postage. And then the buyer will email you real angry about why he has to pay. So that's why.
So to clarify what Jay's saying is, he's saying that if you submit a weight that's invalid for the post office, if you undersize the weight, so if you have a 2-pound item and you say it weighs 1.5 pounds, you'll have like a little mess on your hands of an angry customer because the package will be returned or they have to pay for it.
So that's another reason why, if you really start to be serious about this, investing in, a $30 or $50 scale, electronic scale is smart, because it's just going to keep biting you in the ass,
Yeah, that really clears up a lot for me. Thank you.
Sure. So the next question you had was about packing its materials, and we kind of talked about it. But, where are you getting boxes now?
Well, in the very beginning, we just picked up a bunch of used recycled boxes from a local pet store. And we were just taping up boxes that way. And we're taping our labels, just pieces of paper with Sharpie addresses is all we have right now. But then we did find out about how the flat rate works, and we ordered. I didn't realize, when I would go to the USPS website and I'd try to order all these things, all these flat rate boxes, and I'd see my subtotal was 0, I thought I was doing something wrong. I'm like,
they really are free.
Yeah, it's free.
They really are free. So we ordered just a crap load of flat rate boxes. And I guess the only cautionary tale I have about that is I accidentally ordered 10 boxes of 25 of the same size box when I meant to only order one. So I have 250 large game flat rate boxes, game board boxes in my garage, and the postal lady was just sweating, like bringing all these huge boxes to my doorstep. So I just be careful with the drop down menus there.
Well, we still go to Walmart once a week, and we'll get a carload full of those old boxes, that hold meat in it and stuff. And we still, on weird shaped items, ship on those. And we do the exact same thing. We get a piece of paper, we Sharpie the name and the address and tape it on there. So that's good instinct on your part.
And I watched that. It was it Wendy that did the video about the typewriter?
Oh, that was my
That was
partner.
mine.
Yeah, Ryan.
Yeah.
Ryan, yeah, Ryan. And that was really helpful because it gave me the confidence to kind of like make my own box
Yep.
for that accordion that we shipped, because I was like, I don't have a box for this, and I'm like, I'll just make one. And I wouldn't have known you could even do that, but yeah, as long as it's secure, you can kind of make your own boxes, I guess.
And we had a business, we had our eBay store for like 2.5 years before we even would consider buying bubble wrap. And finally, after a couple of broken vases and stuff, we just had to bite the bullet. And we can link to where we buy our bubble wrap. I mean, you've got to do it, you know?
Yeah, I think you guys talked about that on a previous show too, but
Yeah.
I did just jump right ahead and get some bubble wrap based off of the show's recommendation, the large bubble wrap, because you do need it for that breakable stuff, I think.
Hey, Mikey, I was at we did a job at like a trade show at like the Denver auditorium, and there was a show that ended right before ours, and there was literally 10 acres full of bubble wrap on the floor, just where all the vendors had thrown it.
Goodness.
And I just started, just by instinct, I just started like filling trash bags, and I had 2 big trash bags, and I was like, what am I going to do with this? Like, I can't bring it home. So if you have like a convention center, I don't know, and you have a friend in there, see if you can't sneak in there and like vacuum up all the bubble wrap that they leave behind.
I just want to add to the packing materials that when I first started, we were spending a lot on packing materials, just like you, Adam. Like we had to put a lot of upfront dollars into tape and, bubble wrap and other things. And I felt like as I learned the USPS packaging better, it really reduced how much we had to buy. Just because like they have certain things like the padded flat rate envelope, which I'm just crazy about.
Right.
Like we just had 1,200 delivered. And you can't even order that much through your site. You have to call them to get that quantity. If you ever have extras, you can always take the extras to your local post office, like your large flat rates. You're not going to need those that many for a long time. So you could just take them to your local post office, and they'll sometimes be happy to have them,
Okay. Well, that's good to know, too.
And actually, I think it's Mikey. Didn't you decide that you were going to focus more on smaller items, things that could fit in flat rates and stuff? I mean, like that's...
Yeah, I just didn't enjoy packing big stuff, even though that was better money. We were doing, more like a better ratio of investment to return. It was just too much time. I valued my time too much to spend 40 minutes packing accordions kind of thing. So we made a concerted effort to like focus on Ray-Bans and belt buckles and polos and really small stuff that we can just throw in a first class package, ship it for $2 and still make, $50 off the item or much more. So.
If I could just throw in a quick question, do you guys, when you aren't using flat rate, do you tack on a couple of extra bucks for shipping and handling materials into your shipping price?
We do.
I just charge exact when it's a small item. I just charge exact, but when there's a lot of handling time, I know Jay, you do a whole nother fee on that.
Right. I mean, I'm pretty sure in all of our items we add. It's 50 cents if it's in America, just for our time and for the packing material. And then if it's overseas, it's $1 extra per item.
Perfect. Okay.
Yep. And then, like Mikey said, when we sell things like lamps or something, we actually have those professionally packed, and we'll tack on another $20 or $30 on the shipping. Because if someone's going to pay us $500 for a pair of vintage lamps, they understand it's got to get shipped appropriately, and they'll pay $120 to have it shipped. So let's go to the next question. Money. So I guess you asked a really good normal question, one that I didn't know anyone that could answer. This is like, how much money can you actually make on eBay, right? I mean,
yeah, pretty much. Just maybe not like what the ultimate cap is, but like what does a store the size of your stores, who have 2 full-time workers with 2,000 items, do you have a rough estimate of what you would possibly bring in a month, like a low ball and a high ball estimate?
We've been doing this for 4.5 years now, so it's taken us time to work up to this. So we make about $100,000 a year. That's before expenses. So then if you say, eBay and PayPal take 15% of that off the top, so that's $85,000 a year. We spend like another $10,000 a year like an inventory cost, so that's $75,000. And then after $15,000 on like gas and travel and packing material and like our office, we probably net about $60,000 a year between the two of us. So basically about $5,000 a month is in our pocket that we can spend on a mortgage and whatever else.
Cool.
So I can kind of say the same thing. Jay has a 2,000 item store. They actually keep their inventory a little higher than that now. And I have a 1,000 item store that I just built up to this year. And I do exactly half of what Jay does. We made like 33.5 net after all the expenses were removed last year. I feel like Jay's pretty right on with his 500 item count for what you can make a month. Yeah, $2,000 a month for the 500 items. We made a lot more money early on, Adam, when we were in your state, where we're just going to yard sales and buying and listing all the time. Like, we made a lot then, and then the items, like, there'd be months we'd just take off and not list anything. So the sales would go down a little bit because we didn't have enough new stuff coming in.
Sure.
I was just going to say, our strongest months were within the first 3 months of when we started doing eBay.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when Mikey and Wendy, when we first told them what we were doing on eBay, it was kind of a bit of a weird secret. And then they started doing it, and you guys just jumped right into it. And you guys had 500 items up. It's within a month, I think, and making a lot of money.
Yeah, it was close to that. I mean, we started just like Adam did. You get a store and you pay up all the upfront expenses. But we were really into getting like 50 to 100 items up a weekend. And so Wendy and I would just sit down on our laptops and just kind of punch in like 6 hours nonstop of listing. And, it's what copy's for.
Yeah. And, and like this month we made $6,000 gross. It's always slow in the summertime for a retailer, for anybody. And then come Christmas time, we could make $12,000 to $15,000 in a month, if we keep up our inventory. So that's why it evens out to about, $100,000 overall every year at our level. I can only imagine if you guys like your jobs, and because like my partner and I, we still work. Like, it's just that eBay allows us to pick and choose. Like, I was reading this guy's blog that I like, and he was like, he kind of lives the same kind of lifestyle as all of us. And he's like, nowadays I can pick and choose my jobs, and I can work for people who are on my side, and that's kind of the way we do it now. So, and we actually make almost more money now at our computer work than we used to. And we're a lot happier, it's just nice to be able to say no to people,
Yeah, I mean, if you're curious, or if anybody's curious, for us, what was kind of the driving factor of starting the store is we just had our first kid.
Yep.
And my wife would really like to have our own business so she could spend more time at home, and so we can both spend more time with the family, and instead of having your regular 8 to 5 eating up your whole week.
Yep.
Similar to kind of what your guys' personal store partner relationship stories were, So I think everyone that has that, something sparks in their life where they want to start a store and try something different, and
Yep.
That's what happened with us too, I think.
Yep. Just know that eBay is not a mystery. Like, I'm not. I don't really consider myself a business person by nature. Like, I'm more like my wife and I. We were just joking where we're like crazy, funky artists or whatever, and this just happens to be what we learned how to do. And it's really just a numbers game. We just started to give ourselves goals every month. Let's put up 100 things, 200 things, and you see the money will come based on that, and you just got to keep it up, and there's really no magic to it.
Yeah, it's not glamorous, as Jay likes to say, but I would also say there's tricks to it. If you use some tools, you can list pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Like Wendy and I both use Garage Sale on our Macs, and that's a pretty fast listing tool. If you're, Are you on a Mac, Adam, or do you use a PC?
Yep, we're on Macs.
Yep.
So that might be something for you to look into if you haven't tried it already. Have you looked at that particular software?
I have not.
We'll link to it on the blog and
commercial.
check it out.
Yeah, we'll link into Garage Sale, but I think it's worth checking out if you're in a Mac environment just to see. Jay doesn't use it, Jay and Ryan don't, but Ryan's mom does, so it's sort of for some people it's worth it. I think it's a lot faster.
Okay, so we're kind of in the tail end here. These are two last good questions. So you were asking about if we ever buy for ourselves when we're out and about in yard sales. I guess my question is, like, why did you ask this? I mean, are you having a problem, like, not buying stuff for yourself? Or?
Well, yeah, I mean, what originally makes this work for us is my personality type is to be out at these places, like digging through piles of crap to find that one awesome thing that resonates with me. Now I'm doing it for the store so I can, get more stuff and a wider variety of things. But if I'm out at a sale and I'm like, oh, this is cool, I kind of just want this for myself. Do you guys treat yourselves when you're out working, or do you kind of try not to mix business and personal spending when you're out? Is that like a pitfall you want to stay away from?
I'm always picking up stuff. Like, I'm always looking for like a great stainless steel spatula or new kitchenware and things like that we can use in our house. And I often find that we get on the fence with items where we're like, we should sell this, but I think we're going to hang this used Frida painting in our living room for a while as it's listed on eBay. So I actually wear our eBay clothes, like I'll be like, oh, I need a coat today, and go into the eBay room and pull one out. Or I got, hats. And so I've had to delist items from eBay because I used it to the point where it just wasn't even representative of the item anymore. So
I'm more of like a Spartan. Like, I don't really like to collect anything, or I really wear the stuff that I won't put on eBay. It's like I'll first buy it, I think it's cool, and then we see it's got holes in it or something. That's the stuff I wear. I mean, that being said, though, like, one thing we've used our eBay money for is we actually bought a second home that we're fixing up to turn into a rental house. So, it's using eBay to like build another business on top of that. And we've basically decorated this entire vacation rental house through yard sales. So over the past 12 months, buying furniture and paintings and kitchenware and microwaves, it's ridiculous,
That's amazing. That's funny because that's the other vein my wife's interested is in real estate. That's really interesting. You guys did that.
I mean, and this kind of goes into your last it's question, which I think is a good one. What's the future of our own eBay stores? So we have this eBay store. Like, am I going to do this forever? I think I'll answer real quick first. I think it's just like a lot of things I do, and it's my life. I do it till it gets to be a grind, We still have a lot of fun. It gives us a lot of freedom. We love to hunt, we love selling things. It's like, it's all good. But we're also smart. Like I said, we're trying to plow the profits we're making into other things. So if we ever get tired of eBay, maybe we could just do a rental income, I don't know. We're just kind of making it up as we go along.
Well, I would say for us, I like living in the flow of waste.
Yes.
So I like going to yard sales on weekends like you, Adam, and Jay. And I like, taking stuff home, being like, oh, that's a beautiful sweater. Maybe it's for eBay. Maybe it's for me. I also like the sparse, like our house. I usually don't let the eBay tchotchke stuff into our living area. It's usually items we can really use directly. But I love taking my old electronics and other equipment and just moving it right onto eBay when I'm done with it. So I like living in that flow, so I don't see my store going away. Maybe just going to a smaller store if I'm not listing a lot of items.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, I just think, eBay for us, or for me at least, it seems just like a really cool part of the internet. I love being on the internet. I talk to all my friends on here, and it's just a way to make money too. And yeah, like Mikey says, I guess I could always see, just even if my store got smaller, I'd always have a reason just to sell stuff, that I don't need anymore.
I think one example I can provide that we can probably all relate to is like I think we probably all have iPhones or similar devices.
Yep.
You know, it's going to get old. There'll be another version. You know, I love selling my old out of next phone, if not more. And I use that flow for pretty much all the devices I buy. So it's hard for me to even imagine not having a store at this point, because what would I do with all my used stuff? You know, like how would I? I don't want to throw it away, and I definitely don't want to have a garage sale. That looks like a terrible thing.
Yeah.
So, to have your own.
Yeah. I think, I mean, and this eBay store stuff came out of something that Mikey and Wendy started, and that is moving to the country, you know, getting out of like full-time jobs and, you know, trying to live a lot cheaper. And it's just like one more tool in that goal, you know, and that's just to own your own time and just to do with that time, if it's raising kids or, you know, mountain biking or whatever, building stuff, like that's what it's all about for us.
So can I, maybe this will help with your decision, Adam, about, you know, how you evaluate if you can leave your job and how much money the store can make from you. But I was just going to ask Jay, like, what did you do today, Jay? What did today look like for you? Sure.
Yeah, we got up, we drink coffee, we eat breakfast together, my partner and I, and then we took pictures of a bunch of clothes that have been piling up, like coats that we'll sell probably in the winter time. We did about an hour of that. And then Ryan was taking pictures of like smalls. She's been like gathering like a big like carton full of like little small things to sell, while I came over and I was it's cleaning up a bunch of like suitcases and vintage it's briefcases that I'm gonna sell. And then I took pictures of all of that stuff, while it's Ryan then started to put that stuff up that she took pictures of. We probably got started about 10 a.m. and it's, you know, almost 8 o'clock now, and that'll probably be our day.
So my day was a little different because I didn't really work on anything today, but we walked the dog. First of all, we woke up and packaged a bunch of stuff and shipped it out, and then we had coffee and walked the dog, and I came home and worked in the garden for 3 hours just pulling weeds and stuff because I've been traveling for several weeks. And I picked up grease from the local restaurants that we use for our cars, just to power their diesel vehicles. And then I went tubing down the river for about 2 hours with some friends, and now we're going to have a big Dutch oven cooking party together. And that's kind of my typical day since we don't have real jobs.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I'll probably list some items and try to catch up since I didn't do anything today. But it's nice having that flexibility where you can just be off most of the time.
Yep. And that being said, I mean, we had a really full eBay day today because the past 3 weeks we've been traveling and not doing any eBay at all, but yet still making money off of our store. So
you guys got the life.
Yeah, right? OG. Okay, well, Mikey, This is probably our longest show we've ever done, but it was a good one. Adam,
well,
thanks.
Adam's right. This is going to be a two-parter because he's so interesting.
Yeah. But, Adam, thanks so much for emailing the questions. And, we'll link to you on the blog, and we want to keep up and see how things are going in a couple months,
We'll be here. Thanks for having me. And
Sure.
Thanks for providing the fantastic content, you guys.
Thanks.
Thank you, Adam.
See ya.
Check you later.